Well, folks, last night was night 3 of the Democratic National Convention. If you want all the real-time updates you could ever seek, you need Election Wire Live. It's every night during the DNC, 7:45 p.m. Central. God love them. They're there covering this bleep show. Here's the thing. You might be able to sense already. I am highly irritable today. Not because of the state of the race, as we'll discuss in a moment. I'm really irritable because I don't like the sensation of the entire Democratic media human centipede peeing on my leg and then insisting that we all dance in the rain. We are being lied to. It is annoying. It is irritating beyond all reason. So stop telling me Kamala Harris is a wondrous politician and a symbol of hope and joy who dances and sings and cooks rather than what she is, a manipulative, chameleonic, corrupt careerist who shifts her positions and her person at whim and will not answer a single damned question. Not one. We are now on day 33 of answering 0 questions. She's running for president of the United States. And we're supposed to believe that it's all about the vibes, man. It's all about how she really loves Venn diagrams and she's feeling, are you feeling the joy? Are you feeling the joy? Stop telling me Tim Walz, a good old boy, championship winning football coach, instead of what he is, a radical left-winger who caters to trans politics and lets BLM radicals burn down the major cities in Minnesota and calls socialism neighborliness and apparently visits China every 5 seconds. Stop lying to me. Also, he's a weird kook. Have you seen him? Stop telling me that Joe Biden is like George Washington. He's a man willing to sacrifice for the public good, when in reality, Joe Biden is the most corrupt politician of my lifetime. He used his public position to enrich his corrupt venal family for literally decades, since before I was born, and then he was stabbed in the back by his own party and sent to political hospice care just to get rid of him. And now you're saying that he's sacrificial, he's Cincinnatus or George Washington? Stop lying. Stop telling me that Barack Obama is a messianic do-gooder. He's a man descending from the clouds to bring truths from on high to all of us, rather than what he is, which is an ugly, manipulative, racially polarizing machine politician who's willing to claim the right to steal other people's money and spend it on his favorite people, and then divide America based on race, and then make off with hundreds of millions of dollars in book and TV contracts, all the time claiming capitalism is bad and America is unfree. Stop telling me that Michelle Obama is a charming figure of unity, one of the great lights of our age, when she is, instead, a radical racial leftist who attended America's top universities and is worth bank and complains about the evils of America from one of her 3 multi-million-dollar mansions she earned off the back of being married to Barack Obama, and then complains about the affirmative action of generational wealth while her daughters are worth trust fund $10 million apiece. Stop telling me Bill Clinton is a down-home backcountry cop when he's a Yale law grad who screwed every broad he could find, with or without consent, and stole half the White House on his way out. Stop telling me Hillary Clinton is a sacrificial public servant when she's a corrupt harridan who spent her entire career getting ahead, lying, living off her husband's checkered legacy, a legacy, by the way, she helped enshrine by threatening his rape victims. Stop telling me Doug Emhoff is America's dad-in-chief and Jewish liaison when he screwed the nanny and got her pregnant and has done literally nothing Jewish his entire adult life while raising a daughter who donates to pro-Hamas groups, and then says he's more in touch with his Judaism because he attends church on Easter with Kamala Harris at some rainbow flag church. Give me a break. And most of all, stop telling me, most of all, truly, stop telling me that the Democrats' positions don't matter, that we should not listen to them. Stop telling me they haven't been in charge. Stop telling me that I'm supposed to pretend that they haven't been in charge for 12 out of the last 16 years of my life, and that their threats to rewrite the Constitution, to destroy the Supreme Court, their threats to destroy the filibuster, to confiscate the earned wealth of people who innovate, to spend endless amounts of money that they did not produce, to institute price controls, to inflate the currency, to nationalize health care, to cut the military, to trans the children, to abort anything that moves, to enshrine voting procedures that facilitate fraud, to open the border and amnesty everyone who enters. Stop telling me none of that matters. Stop it. Stop telling me that. Stop telling me that I should ignore that because Amanda Gorman, ooh, and Kenan Thompson, ooh, and Oprah Winfrey, and Lil Jon, turned down for what, is supposed to cover for the fact that this Democratic Party is off its political rocker, and John Legend, and Stevie Wonder, and Pink. Stop telling me that politics should be treated as a game show. It is not a game show. Politics is always and forever about what people do with power. It's not about joy or about vibes. It's not about being brat. It's about what the jack you elect do with power. That's the whole thing. It's not about if you, in some sad sack way, want Kamala to be your mamala, or Tim Walz to be your high school coach from Friday Night Lights, or you want Doug Emhoff to be your dad who the nanny. It's about whether you want these people to be in charge of the country, to set the rules for the economy, to set the rules internationally. That's the thing we should all be focused on. Now listen, maybe, we're just unserious. Maybe we're unserious enough people, spoiled by the fact that we live in the richest time in American history, spoiled by the fact that we don't have to face down existential conflict. Maybe we're just unserious enough that's pretty much all politics is. It's now just a personal popularity contest. Fine, if that's the case, then we get what all failing republics deserve. But there's still many of us who have a stake in the future of the country and think the future of the country matters and think that policy matters and that what these people do with power absolutely matters. We're still worried about the future of our kids in this country. If you are, everything you're seeing at the DNC should be insulting. I mean, deeply, profoundly insulting. Because it is. And if you don't feel insulted, it's because you're caught up in the stupidity yourself. And at that point, you know what? America gets what it deserves. All right, so here's the thing. Before I get to the actual DNC, which has just been, it's a roadshow production. It's like an off-Broadway production of a not very good Broadway show. But we're all supposed to stand and cheer because they're singing fight song, or they're bringing forth Katy Perry, or whoever they're bringing forth tonight. Who gives a flying? Okay, but here's the thing. There's some actual bad news for Kamala Harris. I know, we're not supposed to say it because we're all in celebrate Kamala time. I mean, sure, she has never done anything worthwhile her entire life. Literally her entire life, she has not done anything worthwhile. She was a short-lived DA before she started Willie Brown, who elevated her in California politics by getting her a job at the San Francisco DA. She promptly defenestrated her own boss and ran for that job. And then, I know, we're not supposed to talk about the fact that she was a terrible attorney general of California. She barely sneaked through a race with Steve Cooley because he blew it in the last days of the race. And then she was elected senator in California in a race that had no Republicans in it because they changed the rules. And then she failed in her first presidential nomination race because she's a terrible politician who actually is not particularly smart. And she fell apart upon impact. And then she was selected from the scrap heap of history because she was a black woman by Joe Biden. And then she was an awful vice president. But now we're supposed to believe that now is the time to celebrate Kamala for all of her lifelong achievements of failing up. No one in American political history has failed up quite like Kamala Harris has failed up.